Hi everyone, welcome to my 2024 wrap-up. In this video I want to look back at everything I made in 2024. For some of these I made videos, so I'll be sure to link those when I talk about them. And there are some things you may have never seen before. Now when I pulled everything out to make this video, I realized I'd made way more than I thought I had. So I decided to divide this whole video into 4 quarters and go through everything I made in each quarter. And then within each quarter I also made a split between knitting and sewing. So we have a lot to go through. As you can see here. Let's start with the first quarter. Okay, so for the first quarter, which is January until March, I want to start with the knitting. And first we have the Dryad Sweater by Caledonia Dreaming. I actually started this in 2023 and I finished it in the beginning of 2024. And this has become one of my most beloved sweaters and I wear this all the time. I wear this a lot. Up next is the Holiday in Rome cardigan by Drops. I like it, but I'm not the biggest fan of the yarn. The yarn was pretty sticky when I was working with it, which was not enjoyable at all, but I do kind of like how it turned out. Enough to wear it at least. I wear this mostly to ballet over my leotard. It's kind of a warm-up cardigan. Now we've reached the first of my own designs for 2024 and this is the Velaris 1.0 sweater. I made a pattern for this which you can find in the description below, and this is inspired by the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas, and I love it. Next is another Caledonia Dreaming design. This is the Erebus Sweater. I don't know how it's pronounced. I hope it's close enough. And this is also one I started in 2023 and then finally finished in 2024. And just like the first one, this has become one of my favorites and I also wear this all the time. So I highly recommend checking out Caledonia Dreaming because I've made 2 designs so far and they've both become part of my go-to wardrobe. Now we've reached another of my own designs. This is the Velaris 2.0 sweater. So it's kind of a follow-up to the 1.0. This has a full video and there is a pattern for this available as well. So you can check that out if you're interested. And just like the 1.0 version, this is inspired by the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. And I love it. The final 3 knitwear items I will go through pretty quickly. They're all summer tops from Drops. The first one is the Walking on Air top and I love this one. I wear this all the time in summer. Next is the Coconut Adventures top, which I like. I just don't wear it that much. It's not one of my favorites, but it's okay. And then finally we have the Joyful Jane, and I do wear this one a lot as well. So that was the knitwear. Let's go to the sewing section. The first 2 items I made a video for. They are 2 skirts that are made using the same base pattern, but one has a different waistband than the other. I like them, but my weight fluctuates quite a bit throughout the year and I don't fit into them right now, but I will at some point again fit into these and I do like them a lot, so yeah. Up next is the first corset in the corset series. This is the 1950s Merry Widow corset and looking back at it, it's not my finest work, but for a first time corset making adventure, it's okay. There's just one problem and that is that the zipper tab has fallen off. So I cannot actually wear this right now. So I'm hoping to fix this in the future. But for now, it's pretty to look at, but it's unwearable, unfortunately. Next we have my Walkaway dress. And I really love the fabric I used for this. And I just really love a full skirt. And this has a pretty full skirt, so I wear this a lot. Very happy with this. And then one of my favorite items of the entire year, which is my 19th century Pretty Housemaid corset. I made this for the 2nd episode of the corset series and I feel like there's already a big improvement between this one and then the first one. But yeah, I'm really proud of this. I really like how it turned out and I think it looks really neat and professional. And I also learned a lot about corsetry while doing the research for this one, so very happy with this for sure. The final sewing item in this first quarter is my Don't Get It Twisted dress. This is a dress I designed as well. It's a mix and match pattern. There's once again a video for it and there is a pattern available on Etsy. And this is also one of my favorite summer items. So yeah, I wear this a lot and I love it. And that's the first quarter done. This was definitely my most productive quarter. So the rest of the quarters will go through a little bit quicker. Now for the knitting in the second quarter, so that's April till June, is very summery for sure. The first one, or technically two, is another one of my designs. And again, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but there's a video and a button for this as well. So check out the link if you're interested. And the first one I made is this red mock-up. When I finished that one, I made some changes and then I ended up knitting this real version of the top. And that's the one that's also featured in the video. I do wear this a lot. I actually wear this a lot to ballet because I really like how this pairs with a leotard. So really happy I made it. Then there is my beach cover-up, which I also made a video for. And this one I like, but especially after having taken it with me on holiday, I do really wish I had made this using a thinner yarn. Pretty heavy and it's also pretty warm, which is not really something I'm looking for when it's already 40 degrees on a beach. So I'm thinking of maybe knitting another version of this in a thinner yarn next summer. Up next is the Embrace of the Sun dress by Drops. This is the first actual dress I've ever made, if you don't count the beach cover-up. I started working on this actually in the Portugal vlog, and I really like it. Next we have 3 summer tops. The first one is the Liv Summer top by Johanna Schutz, and I love this. I wear this all the time. The next we have 2 tops that I started working on, I actually finished them in Croatia, so they are featured in my Croatia vlog as well. And first we have the cool crop top. This is one I made using yarn I bought in Portugal. It's a linen yarn. And then the second top is the, I believe I called it a Touch of Flowers top. It's another one of my designs. I just haven't made a pattern for this yet, but I'm planning to do that next summer, so stay tuned for that one. Now that was the knitting. The sewing is a little bit sad this quarter. I only made one thing, which is my 1950s inspired apron using some old bed sheets. I may not have made much in this quarter, but the one thing I made, this apron, I use almost daily when I'm cooking. So I'm really glad I made this. And that's the second quarter done as well. Next is July until September, and for the knitting, the first thing I finished was this Peaches and Cream sweater by Drops. It's a really nice end of summer sweater, so it's not that warm, but it's warm enough for when it gets a little bit colder, and I just really love the fabric that is made. It's difficult to describe, but I think it's great. Then we actually have 3 items from my Knitting for the 1900 series, which there's a playlist, I will link it. And the first one is the 19th cardigan, and I really like this. I do think I could have sized down a little bit. It's a little bit big, but it doesn't bother me too much, so I do wear it, but yeah, could have been a little bit smaller. Then next is the 80th cardigan, and this one I really love. I wear this so much. I really like the fabric. It's a really drapey kind of fabric. It's not too thick, it's pretty thin, and yeah, I think it looks great. I'm really proud of this one. And then the third one is the 70s sweater, and this one I also wear all the time. I especially love the fit of this, so definitely really happy I made this one. The final piece of knitwear that I made in this quarter is the Sweet November sweater by Drops. I'm pretty sure I started working on this in January actually. And then I ended up finishing it, I think it was September, so it took a while and I almost stopped working on it, but I'm really glad I finished it because since I finished this, I've worn this all the time. It's so comfortable and I almost live in this, really. I'm really happy I pushed through and finished it. Now there's one more part of the knitting section, I guess, but it's not knitwear. It's I like to call it a collection of items, and it's my Halloween decoration collection. I made a video for this, so if you're interested to see exactly what I made, I will link the video, but here you can see the thumbnail, which kind of shows everything I made in one picture. And that's the knitting done. Let's move on to the sewing. And the first thing I made is actually not clothing, it's my knitting needle organizer. There she is. Again, there's a video for this, but yeah, I'm so happy I made this. I store all my DPNs and my interchangeable circular knitting needle tips in here, and I almost use it daily because yeah, it's very useful and I think it looks pretty cute, the blue and the white, so really happy I made this. Next up is my completely hand-sewn, vaguely historical chemise. Again, there's a video for this, and I actually really enjoyed making this and sewing this completely by hand. I didn't think I would when I started, but I actually found it really fun and enjoyable, so that's great. And I'm thinking of doing some more historical hand sewing at some point. But this was a really nice starting point. And this will definitely make some more appearances on my channel for very soon, the next installment of the Corset series. Now the final item I made in this quarter is this pleated skirt, which I followed a YouTube tutorial for, and it was really quick and easy, but I'm so happy with this and I wear this all the time, especially this time of year. It feels very Christmassy, wintry, so I love it. And that's the third quarter done. Now let's move on to the final and honestly least productive quarter of 2024. Now I say the least productive, but the first thing on the list is actually my collection of Christmas decorations. So if you count it as one, as the collection, it's not much, but there's so many individual items in there, so still pretty productive. There's a video for this. Again, anyone surprised? No. And here's the thumbnail so you can see a little bit of it, and I highly recommend watching the video to see exactly what I made. Up next is my 4th addition to my 1900 series. This is my 60s Christmas sweater, and this was the first sweater I ever made with a zipper, which was interesting. I'd never done it before. I'd never sewn in a zipper in handmade knitwear, if that makes sense. But I think it turned out pretty good, and I think the zipper looks great as well. Then there is the By the Lake cardigan by Drops, for which I actually made I think it's a 10-week short series. So I will link the playlist with every single episode in the description so you can see exactly how I made this over the course of 10 weeks. But yeah, I really love it. It's really warm, it's really comfortable, and it's great for this time of year. Now the kind of final knitwear item is the Neretina Sweater. I don't know how that's pronounced exactly. And it's by, let me check, Kirsten Michelle. This has been in my queue for a while and I'm so glad I finally got around to making it. It's so beautiful. I love the color work on it. I love the gradient of the colors. This is also the first time I've done Latvian braids, which was interesting, but I really like how they look. So I'm hoping to do some more knitting with Latvian braids in the future. Just really love this sweater. Now, I said it was kind of the final item, and the reason is that there is one more thing I finished, but there will be a video for that, and that one is not out yet. So I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say it's the next episode in the Knitting for the 1900 series. So if you're interested to see what I made, you can watch the video once it's released. Now let's have a look at the final sewing items of this year. Up first I have my Halloween pajamas. Again, there's a video for this, and I love them. I love the vintage look and feel, I love the fabric. So a really great addition to my pajama collection actually. And then again, kind of the final item is the Christmas dress I made that's inspired by the marvelous Mrs. Maisel dress. And again, there's a video for that. I really enjoyed the process for this whole thing, you know, trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to make it and changing a pattern to make it look like the inspiration dress. And yeah, I really love this. It's a great dress. I'm so happy I made it. And again, just like with the knitting, I say kind of the last thing because there's one more item. But again, that video is not out yet and I don't want to spoil it. The only thing I'm gonna say is that it's finally the next episode of the Corset series, and it's one that I'm so excited about. So with that, we've wrapped up 2024. I think this has been a great year when it comes to sewing and knitting. I've done a lot. I don't think I need to do as much next year because maybe it's a little bit excessive. But I'm definitely hoping to make some more beautiful items next year, and I'm hoping you'll go with me along the journey. And we're going to continue the 1900 series, and I'm going to continue the Corset series for sure. And then I also have some other really exciting things planned out, so I hope to see you then. For now, I'm going to end this here. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great 2025. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.